Here is a complete, ready-to-use story. Writing. The emergency room doors burst open beneath the bright afternoon sun as a desperate father raced inside carrying his unconscious little boy in trembling arms. Every second felt like a lifetime. Nurses rushed past, machines beeped in the distance, and frightened families watched silently as the exhausted man begged for someone, anyone, to save his son. But instead of compassion, he was met with cold eyes and cruel assumptions. One doctor's decision would leave an innocent child fighting for his life, while a father faced the most heartbreaking moment he had ever known. Yet before the day was over, the very people who ruled the hospital would walk through those same doors, look directly at that father, and address him with a single word that changed everything forever: "Sir." Before we continue, if you believe kindness should never depend on someone's appearance, status, or background, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who believes in compassion, and subscribe to Heartline Stories for more unforgettable stories that remind us humanity always matters. It was a warm afternoon when Malcolm Avery hurried into Westbridge Medical Center carrying his 8-year-old son, Kian, whose small body burned with fever while his breathing grew weaker with every passing minute. Malcolm had already spent hours trying to find help after several neighborhood clinics were closed for the weekend. He was a single father who worked long construction shifts before driving for food deliveries every evening just to keep a roof over their heads. Life had never been easy since Kian's mother passed away years earlier, but Malcolm never allowed his son to feel unloved. Every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every missed meal was made so his boy could dream of a brighter future. Now, as he stood inside the spotless hospital lobby covered in sweat and dust from work, he prayed someone would see beyond his worn clothes and recognize a father terrified of losing the only family he had left. Instead, judgment arrived before mercy. The attending physician glanced briefly toward Malcolm, assumed he lacked insurance, and dismissed the urgency of Kian's condition without conducting a proper examination. Precious minutes disappeared while forms, policies, and unnecessary delays became more important than the frightened child struggling to breathe. Malcolm refused to leave. His hands shook, but his voice never stopped pleading. He held Kian close, whispering silent prayers while staring at every passing medical worker, hoping one of them would notice that this was no ordinary fever. It was the desperate fight of a child slipping away. Nearby patients and visitors watched with growing discomfort. A young nurse standing quietly behind the reception desk noticed Kian's pale lips and shallow breathing. She sensed something was terribly wrong and repeatedly urged that immediate treatment was necessary. Her concerns were ignored by those with greater authority. The hallway felt painfully silent except for the steady rhythm of monitors echoing from distant rooms. Malcolm could feel time escaping him like sand through his fingers. Every heartbeat carried another wave of fear that he might never hear his son's laughter again. Then everything changed in an instant. Kian suddenly stopped responding altogether. His small body became frighteningly still, forcing nurses to rush forward despite earlier hesitation. Emergency alarms echoed through the department as doctors finally realized the seriousness of his condition. Medical teams surrounded the child, racing him toward intensive care while Malcolm collapsed into a waiting room chair with tears streaming uncontrollably down his face. He had done everything a loving father could do, yet he could not stop wondering whether those lost minutes would become a lifetime of regret. As specialists fought to stabilize Kian, unexpected visitors entered the hospital through the main entrance. Members of the hospital board had arrived for a scheduled inspection after receiving several community complaints about unequal treatment and delayed emergency care. They quietly observed the confusion before asking staff members what had happened. No one seemed eager to explain. Everyone suddenly remembered policies they had ignored and decisions they wished they could erase. One elderly board member noticed Malcolm sitting alone, exhausted and heartbroken. She approached gently, asking him to explain everything from the beginning. Malcolm did not exaggerate. He simply described carrying his son into the hospital, begging for help, and watching valuable time disappear while assumptions replaced compassion. His words carried no anger, only overwhelming sadness. The board members listened carefully, exchanging troubled expressions as witnesses confirmed every painful detail. Then another surprising truth emerged. Malcolm Avery was not wealthy, famous, or politically connected. Years earlier, however, he had quietly established a charitable scholarship in memory of his late wife using compensation from a workplace settlement after surviving a devastating industrial accident. Rather than spending the money on luxury, he had donated much of it to help children from struggling families receive medical treatment and educational support. Several board members recognized his name immediately because the foundation had anonymously funded equipment now being used throughout the children's wing of that very hospital. Malcolm had never asked for recognition. He believed genuine kindness expected nothing in return. The atmosphere changed instantly. The same people who had overlooked him now stood speechless as the chairwoman extended her hand and addressed him respectfully. Everyone nearby heard her clear voice as she said, "Sir, on behalf of this hospital, I am deeply sorry." The single word echoed through the hallway with powerful meaning. It was not respect earned because of money or donations. It was respect that should have been shown from the moment a frightened father walked through the doors carrying his dying child. An immediate internal investigation began. Staff reviewed security footage, interviewed witnesses, and suspended the physician responsible pending further disciplinary action. New emergency procedures were introduced before sunset, ensuring every patient would receive immediate assessment regardless of appearance, race, clothing, or financial status. Mandatory training focused not only on medical excellence but also on empathy, dignity, and unconscious bias. The hospital understood that healing begins with humanity. Hours later, Kian slowly opened his eyes inside the intensive care unit. The infection had been severe, but thanks to the efforts of specialists who finally intervened, he was expected to recover completely. Malcolm gently held his son's hand as sunlight poured through the hospital window, filling the room with golden warmth. In that quiet moment, no awards, titles, or apologies mattered more than hearing Kian whisper that he was hungry. For Malcolm, it sounded like the most beautiful sentence in the world. Over the following months, Westbridge Medical Center became known not for the mistake that nearly destroyed one family but for the reforms that ensured countless others would never experience the same pain. Malcolm continued living his simple life, working hard, raising Kian, and quietly helping strangers whenever he could. He never sought revenge because he believed true strength was measured not by how loudly someone demanded justice but by how faithfully they continued choosing kindness after experiencing cruelty themselves. Special request: comment below with the words, "Kindness saves lives," if you believe every person deserves respect, compassion, and equal care regardless of who they are. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with your family and friends, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Heartline Stories. Your support helps us continue sharing powerful stories that inspire hope, compassion, and faith in humanity. Sometimes, one act of kindness can change a life, but one moment of prejudice can nearly end one. Let this story remind us all that the greatest title anyone can ever earn is not doctor, director, or millionaire. It is simply being a good human being.